You ready?
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
Wicked. Alright. We're here with Tanith Lee. Hello, Tanith.
Hello.
Better known as Mrs. Menopause. It's the first time I've actually spoken to Tanith. I did get in touch with you via Facebook, didn't I? But then I came off it. It was taking up too much of my time. So, yeah. The reason why we're doing this interview is obviously from a bloke's point of view as well. Me not really knowing much. Obviously, I've done a lot of stuff on the hormones, but the menopause is something that I'm unfamiliar with. So that's why we wanted to quiz you today. So you all cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer your questions. It's a huge subject.
Alright, first off, how did you actually get into this? Because that's your niche, just looking at the menopause, hence you've been called Mrs. Menopause?
Yep.
Yeah?
I fell into it, basically, because I had an early menopause.
Right.
So I've been through the trenches. I'm 41 now, but it probably all started happening in my mid-30s, but by the age of 38, I was diagnosed basically with an early menopause.
Okay.
So I was going through some testing time, shall we say, with it all. And of course, doing what I do for a living, you know, as a fit pro, I started doing research, and it all started to come together. And I suddenly thought, God, you know, that people really want to know about this, and I could probably reach and help, you know, women going through the menopause. So that's kind of how it come about.
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. What actually is the menopause then? Because a lot of people don't really know about it, and it's a lot of people change the name. It's the change, or you know, they don't really call it the menopause. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit taboo. So what actually is it?
It is a taboo subject. It's a very emotive subject. The actual the word menopause means menses, so it's menses stop. So it's the menopause is basically the day of your last period, actually. But we don't know. Women don't know that it's the menopause. What we say is we wait a year with no period. So basically, you have to look back and say that's when the menopause is.
Okay.
So it's almost kind of like one day. That's it.
Yeah.
So you get perimenopause. Menopause, which is your last period, then your postmenopause. Right. So it's a little bit. Most people think, oh, you're going through the menopause. It's kind of the lead up when you get all the symptoms.
Yeah.
But that's the perimenopause years, and those years can last from anything from 3 up to 10 years before the period stops. So it can be a massive window.
Yeah.
And if you're going through these changes, they might be quite subtle at first, but it could be a big window. So you can imagine how that can affect women's lives. So.
Yeah.
I find that women, I start talking about menopause, and women in their 40s go, oh, that's not me yet, I haven't got to worry about it. I'm like, oh, you should start thinking about it, because the average age is 52.
Yeah.
But changes happen before that, and, you know, we know if we look after ourselves, those help, with any kind of balancing of hormones, our symptoms are going to be much reduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. How do you mean by look after yourself, nutrition-wise, exercise-wise?
It's just the same kind of stuff as we know. It's the usual stuff for me. You know, it's eating well, eating clean, as we say. You know, it's really looking after our nutrition. It's moving, and the biggest factor that I have personally experienced, and when I'm talking to other clients as well, is dealing with stress.
Yeah.
Stress massively makes symptoms worse. And the thing is, I was talking to a friend the other day. We were talking about women who get PMS.
Yeah.
What we were saying is women just think it's normal to feel rubbish once a month.
Yeah.
It's their normal, you know, but actually it doesn't have to be that way. And I kind of think about it, PMS has kind of been a body shout out for help. Say, look, you know, something's a little bit off balance now. So it's usually a good indicator. If your PMS is bad, then your menopause possibly may go along the same line. So it's really good kind of like wake up call, I think, for women to say, let's start sorting out your symptoms now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean PMS, PMT, I think someone's called it on here. Yeah, I mean, how would you say to get stress levels down? Because within like our jobs or our careers, you call it, there tends to be we come across a lot of clients that say, well, it's okay, you know, to say go to bed at this time, but I've got this to do. I'm a busy mum. I can't de-stress. You get all of these different things factors entering into their life. How how can you actually downgrade the stress? Because, like I say, I mean, we come across business women and busy mums that have to actually de-stress, but they find it really hard.
The thing is, we put things off until our body cries the loudest. For example, for me, back in July, I'd been ignoring all the signs and signals that I was under, like, chronic stress, basically. And in the end, my body and my brain just went, no more. And, I had a proper big meltdown. And the idea is let's not have to get to that stage.
Yeah.
All those signals were all there, but I chose to ignore it. I had to do the next thing. I had to do this with the kids. I had to work. I had to do, and the way I see it is, the best way, every woman's going to be different. They've got to find their way to be able to deal with stress. We're all going to have different situations. Being self-employed is harder. It's really hard, but you have the benefits as well, don't you? I found for me was, I have to get my stuff done first thing in the morning for me. So that is, at the moment, I do like a little bit of yoga or Pilates, and I make sure I'm getting my first good meals and getting a good breakfast. So my start to the day is spot on, and generally that really helps set me up. If I don't get that going, then the rest of the day goes out a little bit. Yeah. So maybe I have to get up earlier, be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah.
And put that a little bit more time in for me, which kind of goes against the grain, especially for mums, because it's all about in the morning rushing around looking after the kids and stuff. But to give myself that little bit of space and just kind of take a breath and know what's going on, that's really helped me.
Yeah.
Meditation is something that I've been really wanted to do for years, but never did, because I thought it was this big, scary, this big thing. You had to sit zen-like, cross-legged, and sit there and think about anything, which is impossible for most people. Totally impossible. But then I just thought, let's make it really simple. All you've got, to start off with, let's just sit there for, say, 2 minutes and just breathe and just take some breaths. And literally, that 2 minutes can be a changer in bringing all your heightened hormone levels down and just chilling out. So that, I would start really, really simple. It's better to do something for 2 minutes every day than nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you start to feel the benefits.
Yeah.
And you want to then incorporate a little bit more. So then you might feel like, oh, maybe I should just go for a walk.
Yeah.
5 minutes, and that 5 minutes might become 10. Or do you know what I mean? So I would choose something really simple, so easy that you think I can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
And then you can build on that, and then start to feel the benefits.
Awesome.
But everyone's going to have their own thing, aren't they? Chill out. Yeah. Chilling out isn't a glass of wine in front of the sofa. It does not have the same effect on our hormones. And it might feel nice, but it's not the same. That's not true relaxation.
Yeah.
True relaxation is literally having to go off, do some yoga, Pilates, walk, anything like that. That's what's going to have the most impact, especially on our brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does I mean, one of the things. Sorry, Tanith, I'll just grab this charger. Just come up on the thing there. 10% left. Does wine and dark chocolate help with menopause? Because there's certain things that I've heard with regards to, like, when we run the Poliquin thing, saying that wine does help with the process. I'm not saying like get sozzled, but red wine, especially from Spain, because they've got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Antioxidants.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can get those from berries.
Yeah. So you don't have to go down the wine route.
You don't have to go down the road. With wine, it's a habit, generally, isn't it? It's a habit. It's that we want that feeling of,
yeah.
You can get that feeling of, when if I do meditation or something else. Now, dark chocolate, I'm a great believer in, but it has to be the dark chocolate without any crap in. That's what we got to have. What I swear by is I make a hot chocolate with dark chocolate, cocoa powder.
Yeah.
No sugar, not hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Hot water and maybe a bit of coconut milk or almond milk or something in it. I put cinnamon in it and maca, which we'll probably talk about later, which is a really good supplement for menopausal women. That makes a brilliant drink. It hits your dopamine centres as well in the brain, and it nails cravings. I put coconut oil in it as well.
What's that called? Maca?
Maca, M-A-C-A, maca.
All right, I've not heard of that before.
Peruvian root vegetable.
Right.
It's kind of like a ginseng type of thing, so it adapts to whatever your body needs. But the research out there on the health of menopausal women is phenomenal.
Okay.
I've taken it myself, and it's really, really helpful. It's very good for libido.
Is it? Is that why you were 15 minutes late?
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of exercise? I mean, because exercise is classed as stress as well. What kind of exercise would you say for menopausal women? Because a lot of our stuff within the camp tends to be high intensity training, interval training. We do mix it up, so it's not always the same. So we'll use core bags, and we do mix it up. I've heard that weightlifting is quite good for menopausal women, and you know, what's your take on it?
You know what, I think it's going to be a combination of everything, and again, it's going to come down to the individual woman. It depends how they're feeling, where they are, their symptoms. The thing with the menopause, if I could just give you a book and say, right, on month 1 you're going to do this and feel like this, and this is how you deal with it, but it's not like that, unfortunately. It's a very individual kind of journey. I hate that word, it's a bit overused. Stress reduction, I would say, would be, if a woman's really struggling, I say stress reduction is going to be the one thing I would concentrate on first.
Yeah.
And that, going back to what we were saying, so that's just literally the walking and the yoga and the Pilates and anything that's kind of more mind-body and bringing down those stress hormones.
Yeah.
Once we kind of got that in balance, then you can think about just, you know, what you're saying, kind of the HIIT stuff or interval training, short duration, going hard is perfect.
Yeah.
And especially as we're getting older, weight training, resistance training has got to be in there somewhere as well. So somehow you've got to find something that works for you and get that balance, you know, because as we're getting older, our metabolism's slowing down, we're naturally losing our muscle mass.
Yeah.
Which all those things work against us, and we talk about weight gain as well, because as we get older, unfortunately.
Yeah, it tends to be. Sorry.
I said as ladies get older, there is a tendency for the weight to start to creep on. Even if a woman and nothing else has changed, she's doing exactly the same thing she's done. All of a sudden, it starts to creep on, you know. And I've had it myself, and I'm going to be honest, I'm still working on getting rid of that. Bit of weight that I've come on, and it has to come back to a personal plan. It's boring as hell.
Yeah. You
have to work out what works for women as an individual, and every woman is going to be different on what works for them.
Yeah, I mean, I did actually, I was actually training a busy businesswoman that was going through a lot of stress, a lot of late nights as well, and it was just kind of, I'm busy, and there was no room really to de-stress, so it come to a point where she did actually injure herself and then leave the camp, and then once she'd left, she dropped a lot more body fat, and I think that was just due to the stress of the exercise plus the stress of the busy life as well. And a lot of people don't realise that if they keep hitting the stress without de-stressing, then it can cause more problems. Because stress is toxicity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, the story you've just told, I've heard over and over again.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of hit that point sometimes where you just have to kind of let go. And that's sometimes when the magic kind of happens, is in that period. And it's just, you know, it kind of almost works against women. You know, they're not losing weight, so they exercise more and eat less, exercise more, eat less, which you know, it just doesn't work. You know, sometimes we have to pull back, exercise less, and perhaps eat more, but of the right stuff.
Yeah.
And that's going to sometimes do the tip, that do the balance.
Yeah, because sometimes there's not enough variety. I've actually, you know, there's clients of mine where we've given them the book and we said, look, you know, follow the book, but then it tends to be, they'll go for the same things all the time, and there's not enough variety in there. It's like, look, I'm just going to go for the chicken and broccoli all the time. And
as human beings, we're not designed to eat like that, are we? We're designed to have a lot. But we do, I think, I don't know what I read somewhere, I think we all, when we go shopping, we buy the same 20 foods or something, we keep tasting them. So yeah, absolutely, we need a variety in everything. We need a variety in diet, in exercise, and fun, and how we reduce stress. I think we need a variety. Keep our body guessing, and just keep life interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. One of the things that was asked, obviously, when the menopause is the thyroid. There tends to be a lot of problems with the thyroid function.
Yeah.
What actually is happening there, and how does that process? Because women on thyroxine, they've given all these things. One of my clients, I've got a couple of questions there. One of my clients was on about they were trying to give it antidepressants to help with it. So what's actually happening there with the thyroid during the menopause?
Well, you know what? I don't think it's necessarily due to the menopause.
Right.
Just, the thing with menopause is some of the symptoms and stuff is we're getting older.
Yeah.
Something that women don't want to actually talk about. This is when we get a bit like, a bit uncomfortable getting older. But some of this stuff is just about getting older.
Right.
And I've had the same thing. I've had all my bloods done lately. And apparently my thyroid was in the normal range. And that normal range is huge. It's huge in that normal range.
Yeah.
But when I had some kinesiology done, and she said to me, because I put my adrenals around, and she said, my thyroid's out.
Yeah.
She said, it's just starting to go, and that could be what's causing me the problems. But I didn't know that until I saw an alternative therapist.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, it can happen as we're getting older. There can be lots of things to do with the thyroid. I mean, that's probably another interview talking about the thyroid all in itself. But there are stuff that we can do to help with the thyroid. Sometimes there can be some iodine in the diet.
Yeah.
Can support the thyroid. And there's other techniques as well that can help the thyroid. But it's just sometimes it can be just a case of us getting older, not necessarily linked to the menopause.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think was one of the things that I'd actually learnt was it's alright given the thyroxine, the T4, but you need iodine with the T4. Is that correct, or is it the T5?
Now you're testing my brain. You're testing my mental now, aren't you? To be honest, top of my head, I can't remember. I'd have to go and have a look.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough about thyroid function in that much detail.
That's alright. Cool.
My iodine definitely is. I'm back now. Now I've had that report back. I'm back on some. I'm back on Phil's iodine Forte for now, just to see if that helps, because I've been feeling very tired. I couldn't shift this 20 pounds, and there's some other stuff going on, and it is down to do with my thyroid. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Just
with regards to what you said earlier as well, when you'd mentioned the adrenals, that tends to be when you are really you've got no energy at all. You just don't want to get out of bed. When there's a shot, it tends to be through a lot of stress or past trauma in your life.
Stress, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me. Adrenal fatigue is more and more common these days. Why little adrenals get such a hammering, don't they?
Yeah.
And there's lots we can do. Things we talk about, that de-stressing is so important to help with adrenals. And what happens with menopause is the adrenals actually take over a little bit of the function of producing certain hormones.
Yeah. So
as our ovaries don't produce as much estrogen and progesterones, then some of the other organs like fat cells produce estrogen, and our adrenals kick in as well and help with some of those hormone levels. Right. So they're working super hard.
Yeah.
So if we're adding stress into that as well, they in the end they just go, you know what, I give up.
Yeah.
Give up, and that's when we get that feeling that we just can't get out of bed. That's when we need to be hitting caffeine. Stimulate,
stimulants.
Cocaine.
Anything. All right, so I'll ask a couple of the questions that I've got on from Jacqueline Hall. So one of them is about hot flushes, how to get to sleep. I mean, I have said about magnesium being quite good for that. Do you have any other things? I know that you said the maca.
Right, maca more helps with energy, and it can help with flushes. But let's talk about sleep first. It's a bit of a catch-22. I mean, I'm very lucky. I sleep really well, but I know a lot of women are woken up with the night with the hot sweats and stuff. And I had a little bit of that when I was younger, in my earlier 30s. the thing is, there are some herbal supplements around that are really good to try.
Yeah.
But you know, I would start with the big things first. The big things are, you know, dealing with stress.
Yeah.
You know, making your life a little bit easier. And those are the big stuff. Rather than what's the way to put it? Rather than trying to deal with our symptoms with a plaster, like putting herbal supplements on top.
Yeah.
You know, let's start with the big things. Let's try and sort out the sleep, the stress and stuff first, and then you can work back from there. Because that's what I tried to do. You know, for 18 months I tried, you know, HRT, bioidentical hormones that put me on the pill because all my symptoms were really bad. But actually, as soon as I, a couple of months ago, started to deal with my stress, funny enough, all my symptoms practically disappeared overnight. Coincidence? Awesome. I think not. Do you know what I mean? So, nice. But I wasn't in a position, I didn't want to hear that before. I didn't want to hear that I was working too hard and I couldn't cope. I didn't want to have to admit that I couldn't cope with my stress levels and my busyness, and apparently I wasn't Superwoman. You know, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's uncomfortable because it's change, and if someone tells you to change, then it's a big change. You know, you've got to kind of go away from the life that you've been leading to a different kind of life.
Change can be scary, it can be hard, and you know, that's when it goes back to what we were saying earlier about maybe making some smaller changes and building, you know, smaller things and building them up. So sleep, magnesium, you know, is a brilliant one to help with sleep. Also, you know, the things that I'm sure you've told your campers as well is to you know, reduce stimulants as in TV and stuff in the evening, have a winding down period. And also have a cooler bedroom. I've found that helps.
All right, cool. I didn't know that. I have said like Tulsi tea on an evening can help with, help with chilling out. Yeah, cool.
Absolutely. It's really hard with the sleep because it can be, you know, if sometimes it can be adrenals as well. If they're taxed.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can wake you up as well because what's happening also is your blood sugar levels. Me, I used to always wake up really hungry in the night. And I used to have to get up in the middle of the night and eat crazy because of my blood sugar levels all over the place. I wasn't eating, I didn't eat really badly, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't eating as well as I could be, you know what I mean? And I was using caffeine quite a lot, so I'd wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning really hungry and I have to eat before I can go back to sleep.
Really?
But now I've started to sort that out now. You know, I don't have that anymore. Rarely at all. What else with night sweats? There are some supplements, things like, what I can probably do is just probably send you a couple of websites with some links and stuff.
That'd be awesome, please.
Stuff that I recommend, otherwise we could spend 10 minutes. There's a couple of really good companies and good supplements that I know people have had quite good results with. So awesome. I think what I'm trying to say is we've got to look at our lifestyle.
Yeah, I know, because I'm looking at this and it's saying they got Dixerit off the doctor. So with the flushes, is that right? Am I pronouncing it right?
I don't know what that is. Spell it out for me.
Dixarit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, it's to help with the flushes, but I think they're saying it stopped working and the flushes have increased. So it may be the same because you're going through the menopause early.
Well, the thing with flushes, the hot flushes, they don't really know what causes it.
Yeah.
They're still not 100% sure what causes the hot flushes. What I do know is that if you reduce stimulants, as in caffeine, alcohol, sugar, and all the things that most women hang on to, massively helps.
Right.
Massively
awesome.
Helps.
Thank you. PMT, any suggestions to handle that?
Same. The same thing goes. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing going on. It's the same. I would exactly prescribe the same things we were just been talking about. All that stuff's going to help. Exactly the same.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's...
one from Angela Smith. Can you ask Tanith what foods we should avoid? Since it has all started, I feel like I can't move any fat from my tummy. Also, I get really bad tension headaches. And I'm still not drinking coffee or tea. And sticking to my green tea. Any help would be appreciated.
Fat around the middle. You know, this is what I get. You know, it's a very common thing. Women always say that menopause, or where's my waist gone? You can't just get on, and this all seems to come back to these high cortisol levels. Comes back to the stress. That's what we can put it down to. Again, the thing with this, I really wish I could give you an answer and go, here's the magic cure, do this.
Yeah.
But the human body isn't like that. Yeah. You're gonna have to just try some different ways and have a little bit of patience and be kind. Be kind to ourselves and give ourselves a little bit of slack to find what works for us. It's not a quick process to get over this stuff. We have to dig a little bit on it all, and it doesn't have to be such a negative time in menopause as well. It can be quite a nice transition. It can be a time for a bit of looking inside a bit deeper and looking a bit deeper out of life and that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of giving ourselves a break, and nobody wants to be, putting on any weight and stuff. And I know it's miserable because, I understand because I've going through a similar thing, but it's taking a step back, don't lay any more extra pressure on, and just really having a good honest look at your lifestyle and seeing what we can change.
Yeah.
Because that's what, Fat Around Marilyn Glenville's got a really good book called Fat Around the Middle. Some of it I think is a little bit outdated, but she does talk a lot about keeping your blood sugar levels balanced and keeping these cortisol, these high, stress hormones in check, and that honesty will make a difference. But we're not in our 20s, and we can't suddenly drop a load of weight really quickly. It is harder, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It just takes a little bit more tweaking. You've got to be a little bit more eye on the ball.
Awesome. Who's that book by, Tanith?
Marilyn Glenville.
Right. Cool.
She's done a few. Again, I can send you a few different books and different websites and stuff to go to.
I'll be reading up on them as well. So, next one. I read that one of the first menopause symptoms to appear is itchy skin because collagen loss is most rapid at the beginning. My legs become incredibly itchy at times, especially at night. I could writhe them to bits. At times, there is no sign of skin irritation. Is this anything hormone related, and how can I preserve collagen generally?
Right, it's funny because I've been reading about this today because at the moment I'm really suffering myself with dry skin. I've got to think as well. It's a time of year.
Yeah.
Affects skin as well, and central heating is rubbish for skin. So I would say first thing when you've got central heating on, put some little containers of water on the radiators to humidify the air to make it a bit more moisture in the air. Anyway, that's not to do with the menopause, really. So
is that one of the signs, itchy skin?
I've never really suffered with the itchy. It's not one. It's not. I wouldn't say there's a first sign.
Right.
There isn't a first sign. You don't get a little flag and go, right, that's it. That's it. It's menopause. Unfortunately, it is one of the symptoms.
Right.
And I've not really suffered with it, but I was literally looking about this yesterday. I was reading about it, so I'm still investigating it a little bit myself. But she's right; it's absolutely to do with the lowering of the estrogen, which affects our collagen levels.
Right.
So the usual thing is, just keep hydrated, balance your hormones, take some fish oils. I use coconut oil on my skin, and I find it really good. Don't use any rubbish on your skin.
Yeah.
So coconut oil, any of the natural kind of oil stuff, no mineral oils or anything like that, none of the perfumed. Keep it really natural. That's really going to help.
Yeah.
Vitamin C really helps our collagen production. So not only are we thinking collagen to keep ourselves nice and plump, but it's to do with our muscles and our ligaments and tendons. It keeps everything working. Also, vitamin C is amazing for our adrenal glands.
Right.
There's a lot more of it when we're stressed out. So I'm on supplement. I do a scoop of vitamin C powder 3 times a day, and I think each one of those is 2,000 milligrams. So it's quite a high dose I'm on at the moment.
Yeah.
And it won't stay like that all the time, but I'm just dosing up just to see if it makes a difference in my skin, because I've noticed I'm very dry skin. So I shall get back to you on that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. One of the questions I have is, and from a man's point of view, what can men do to help the ladies out in this kind of time? Because it would just be a little bit self-centered, just from a lady, from a guy's point of view.
Yeah.
So I know what to do when you know.
It's a really good question for you to ask, actually.
Yeah.
Because, as I said earlier before we started recording, my husband needs a medal for the amount of crap he put up with. Because literally, I'll be up and down so much, shouting one time, crying. He didn't know what hit him.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's a real chilled out guy. He just kind of took it with a pinch of salt, I think it's just kind of to be as supportive as you can.
Yeah.
To know that it's nothing to do with what you're doing. I think for a man, it's nothing you're doing, even though it may be pointed out that it is. Generally, it's to do with how the woman's feeling, and it's just to somehow be supportive. I think women want to be heard.
Yeah.
All we want is to know that someone can hear our voice. So it's a case of just sitting there. Men I know want to fix, but it's just sitting there and listening and nodding and making all the right kind of, it's just being able to listen.
Like I'm doing.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're perfect. Yeah. Give that hug, that's kind of what, kind of thing, really. It's just being heard and asking if there's anything you can do.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's just keeping that line of communication open. Apart from that, for guys, I don't think there's much you can do. Apart from, I don't know.
A crash helmet.
Build a shed.
Build a shed.
Build a shed. Let's build a shed.
I love it. I've got a shed, so I'm alright.
You're right, you're sorted.
Yeah, I'm sorted. For when it hits.
It's tough, and I said I think I might write some stuff for men actually, because I haven't got a Scooby what to do. We don't know what's going on with ourselves, let alone the poor men trying to work it out, and the kids. Our kids get it in the neck as well, so everyone gets it. But I'm going to say, not all women have a hard time.
Yeah. It's
not a given that you have to have a really shit time when you have perimenopause symptoms. It doesn't have to be like that. Many parts of the world, they don't even have a word for the menopause. So it doesn't have to be really bad. It doesn't have to. Don't. If we go into these later years thinking, oh, this is going to happen. When's it going to happen? And everything. You're waiting for it. You're going to have a rougher time.
Do you think it's just down to the culture that we're living in? With all these extra, all these extra stresses and people just adding more and more into their life without taking anything out, and the food as well, processed food.
Absolutely. There's so much research out on it as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just go, and it's good to be busy, and it's good we've got so much. We are so lucky with what we've got, but we have to give ourselves that space.
Yeah, it's just. I was going to say, because a lot of people don't realise, but you have two branches. So you've got your sympathetic one, you've got your parasympathetic one. So a lot of people spend too much time in the sympathetic, which would be stressed and more stressed, and just keep, and overwhelmed and just keep adding more. But not enough people spend the time in the parasympathetic, which was what Tanith was on about, where you are de-stressing and you are... you're doing meditation and just going through your breathing can help, put you back into your parasympathetic, so you're actually chillaxing and relaxing.
We was talking about that relaxation. I've just got a really good app, actually. I listened to it on Paul's podcast, and somebody mentioned this app. Hang on. It's called Breathing Zone.
All right.
And all it is a little app for your phone. I was just looking at it there on my phone. It's a little app. And it just instructs you how to breathe. So it gives you time, breathing in, breathing out. It's a little visual, and it talks to you as well.
Yeah.
And you set up for 5 minutes or whatever time you want. Yeah. And literally, you just kind of sit. It's quite mesmerising. You sit there and you time your breath to it, and it makes your breath longer.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's brilliant. So if you're scared of meditation, you think, oh, that sounds a bit scary. Just get this app, it's £2 and you just sit there 5 minutes, do your breathing. Honestly, you're like a changed person. It's brilliant. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, because like I say, a lot of people don't know how to breathe correctly. Everyone was taught the ABCs, but no one was taught how to breathe. So just to, sit back and just go through your breathing and obviously take you out of your stressed environment into a better environment.
Yeah, we're in this instant results thing. We all want something now, and that, if you want a pill to take, doing your breathing, you'll get within 2 minutes. You'll feel, honestly, you'll feel so much different. So anything to do, we all want this kind of quick fix, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants weight loss pills. They want to, you know, without actually putting, they want the weight loss pills, the breathing pills, you know, the less stress pills, and it's you know, it's just putting the effort into it, really.
Unfortunately, yeah, it does, and actually, it's much more fun making those changes rather than having that instant pill. Finding out about yourself, and you know, and taking that time to stop and to know yourself a little bit more. Because I think we all rush around and we don't really know how we feel or what's going on, and actually to give ourselves that space and to actually feel that. And I think especially for a woman to get more in touch with what's actually going on is really important, especially at this time of life as well.
Awesome. Have you got one, before we come off the interview, have you got one bit of information that you could give to people just to help them a little bit? You've given me a lot there. Have you got a key thing, or?
I think the whole thing with the menopause is to have an open mind. There isn't one answer. You know, we haven't talked about HRT or anything like that, and I used to be very anti-HRT. Yeah. But you know, I took it because I bloody needed help. You know, and I think it's to be really open-minded, to do your research, and to talk to other women, because the more women talk about this kind of stuff, the more supported and nurtured we feel. Nobody likes to, it seems like we don't really like to, well, we do like to talk about this stuff, but whenever I do talks, all I have to do is put a group of women in you know, together, give them a glass of wine, and that's it, they're off, talk about menopause. Oh yeah, I was getting that too. Oh, did you have that? And
yeah,
that is a therapy session in itself. I
bet it is.
Yeah, it's just, you know, talk to women, talk to other people about it, you know, have an open mind, and don't expect to have a quick fix in it, because it doesn't kind of work that way. Yeah.
I mean, my ladies come over and they'll whisper it to me like as if it's a bad thing. I don't know whether it's because I'm a secret. Yeah, it's like a secret. It's a secret.
See, my mission, you see, is to actually say, look, people are like, why do you want to be called Mrs. Menopause? I've got T-shirts and everything. And I'm like, you're mad. But you know what? We're taught about puberty. We're taught about pregnancy, and then what? We don't talk about any other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a big change. It's a massive transition for women into this different stage of their life, and we need to talk about it, and we need to kind of embrace it as well, because it's not all negative.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much, Tanith. It's been definitely insightful and very informational as well, and I really appreciate you coming on, because like I said, I've not met you before, and you're just coming on here and doing this for my guys, and like I said, I'll send the video your way, so if you want it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to find me, my blog is mrsmenopause.co.uk, so that's where I put all my blog and bits and pieces. They can come and find me over there as well. And
fantastic.
Ask me any questions.
You'll have your newsletter thing there, or your informational letter that you send out, so my guys can opt into that, can they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wicked. Thank you very much, Tanith.
No worries, anytime.
Alright, cheers. I'll just stop this recording.
Okay.